The screaming of twisted metal pierced through the dense atmosphere of Kepler 442b. As Dr. Marcus Kane's research vessel spiraled toward the planet's surface, emergency lights bathed the cockpit in crimson as he fought to maintain control, his knuckles white against the flight controls. The pirate attack had come without warning, their black ships emerging from the asteroid field like hungry predators. Marcus gritted his teeth. As the ship clipped the tops of towering crystalline trees, each impact sending violent shudders through the hull. The jungle canopy rushed up to meet him, a sea of bioluminescent blues and purples that might have been beautiful under different circumstances. With a final, bone-jarring crash, the vessel carved a burning scar through the alien forest before. Coming to rest against a massive boulder formation, smoke filled the cabin as Marcus struggled to free himself from the wreckage. His head throbbed where it had struck the console, warm blood trickling down his temple. The acrid smell of burning electronics mixed with the sweet, humid air filtering through the breached hull. He grabbed his emergency pack and stumbled from the ruins of his ship, knowing the smoke would attract every predator within miles. The alien world assaulted his senses immediately. Strange calls echoed through the twilight canopy, while phosphorescent insects danced in spiral patterns around flowering vines. The gravity was lighter than Earth's, making each step feel almost dreamlike despite his injuries. This planet from months from orbit, but being here was entirely different. A soft whimpering sound froze him in place. It came from a cluster of fallen trees about 50 meters from his crash site. Marcus approached cautiously, his hand instinctively. Reaching for the plasma cutter on his belt, the sound came again, definitely organic, definitely in pain. Behind a tangle of luminous roots, he found her. The alien child couldn't have been more than 12 years old by human standards, though her species aged differently. Her skin was a delicate shade of lavender that seemed to shimmer in the strange light, and her large violet eyes were filled with tears. She wore simple robes that had once been white, but were now stained with a silvery substance he recognized as Velani. Blood. Easy, Marcus whispered, though he doubted she understood English. The Velani were known to be peaceful traders, rarely venturing far from their home systems. What was a child doing here alone? She flinched as he approached, pressing herself deeper into the roots. Marcus slowly removed his translator device, a small disc that would interpret basic Velani speech patterns. The technology wasn't perfect, but it might help. "I won't hurt you," he said, the device rendering his words into soft, musical tones. "My name is Marcus. I'm here to help." The child's eyes widened with surprise and something like hope. "Human," she whispered in accented but understandable English. "You speak our words?" Little Marcus admitted, kneeling beside her. He could see the extent of her injuries now, a deep gash along her left arm and numerous smaller cuts from what looked like energy weapons. "What's your name?" "Zara," she replied, wincing as she tried to move. "My village. They came with fire and death. I ran into the forest. Pirates. The same ones who had attacked his ship." Marcus felt a surge of anger at the senseless violence, but pushed it aside. Right now, this child needed medical attention. "Can you walk?" he asked, already opening his medical kit. The antiseptic spray would work on most humanoid species, and the biofoam would help seal her wounds. Zara nodded bravely, though Marcus could see the fear in her alien features. As he carefully cleaned and treated her injuries, she told him fragments of what had happened. Her people had been mining rare crystals when the pirates arrived, demanding the location of something called the Heart of Worlds. When the village elders refused, the attack began. "My father said to run and hide," Zara whispered as Marcus worked, "said someone would come for me. But no one came." "Someone did come," Marcus said gently, meeting her gaze. "I'm here now, and I'm going to get you somewhere safe." The sound of engines overhead made them both freeze. Through the canopy, Marcus caught glimpses of sleek black holes circling like vultures. The pirates were searching for survivors. "We need to move," he said urgently, helping Zara to her feet. She was unsteady but determined, her small hand gripping his with surprising strength as they disappeared deeper into the alien jungle. Marcus couldn't shake the feeling that this was just the beginning. Something about Zara's story didn't add up. Pirates didn't usually waste time attacking isolated mining colonies, unless there was something valuable at stake. And what was this heart of worlds they had been seeking? Behind them, the pirate ships continued their methodical search pattern, their sensor beams cutting through the twilight like hungry eyes. The ancient temple rose from the jungle floor like a dream carved in living crystal, its spires reaching toward the alien sky in spirals that seemed to defy physics. Marcus and Zara stood at its entrance, both awed by the structure that pulsed, with its own internal light casting rainbow patterns across the surrounding vegetation. "I know this place," Zara whispered, her voice filled with wonder and something else, recognition perhaps. "My grandmother told me stories, but I thought they were just tales for children." The temple entrance was an archway formed by two intertwining crystal formations, their surfaces covered in flowing scripts that seemed to move and shift as Marcus watched. The writing was definitely Villani, but older than anything in his linguistic databases. "What do the words say?" he asked as they approached the threshold. Zara traced the symbols with her finger, her touch causing them to glow more brightly. "Those of pure heart and noble purpose may enter the sanctuary of the heart of worlds," she translated. "But Marcus, if this is the Temple of Hearts, then—" She trailed off, her violet eyes widening with realization and what looked like fear. "Then—"
"What?"
Marcus prompted gently. "This is one of the most sacred sites of my people," Zara explained, her voice barely above a whisper. "Legend says it was built around a source of immense power, something that could either save worlds or destroy them. If the pirates are looking for the heart of worlds, they're looking for this." As they crossed the threshold, the temple responded to their presence. Walls began to glow with warm, welcoming light, and the air filled with harmonious tones that seemed to resonate in their very bones. The interior was a vast chamber with a domed ceiling that displayed what looked like a three-dimensional map of the galaxy. Stars twinkling like jewels against the crystal surface. At the center of the chamber stood a raised dais, surrounded by flowing water that defied gravity, spiraling upward in impossible helixes that caught and reflected the temple's light. But it was what sat atop the dais that took Marcus's breath away. A sphere of pure energy, no larger than a basketball, hovered above an intricate pedestal. It pulsed with colors that had no names, shifting through spectrums that hurt to look at directly. The very air around it seemed to vibrate with potential. "The heart of worlds," Zara breathed, and Marcus noticed tears streaming down her face. "You've seen this before," he realized, pieces of a puzzle beginning to fall into place. Zara nodded slowly, unable to take her eyes off the energy sphere. "In my dreams, always in my dreams, my grandmother said I was blessed, that the heart called to me even as a child." She turned to face him, and Marcus saw something in her expression that made his pulse quicken. "Zara, who are you really?" he asked, though part of him already suspected the answer. "My true name is Zareleth Moonweaver, daughter of High Chieftain Valandros of the Villani Confederacy," she said, her voice taking on a formal tone he had never heard before. "I am heir to the Crystal Throne, guardian of the ancient ways and keeper of the sacred trusts, a princess." He had been traveling with royalty and never known it. But that explained so much: her natural authority, her deep knowledge of Villani, history and customs, the way she had communicated with the Phase Cat. "Why didn't you tell me?" Marcus asked, though there was no accusation in his voice, only understanding. "Because here, with you, I could be just Zara," she replied, moving closer to him. "Not a princess with duties and expectations, just a girl who found someone who cared about her safety more than her title." The temple around them pulsed brighter, as if responding to the emotional intensity of their conversation. Marcus found himself stepping closer to her, drawn by something deeper than mere attraction. "The heart responds to strong emotion," Zara explained, noticing his gaze on the energy sphere. "Love, courage, sacrifice, these things make it sing." "What is it exactly?" Marcus asked, though he couldn't seem to look away from her face. "A fragment of the universe's first star, or so the legends claim," Zara replied. "It contains enough energy to power a civilization for 1,000 years, or to destroy entire solar systems if misused." My ancestors built this temple to contain and protect it. Marcus understood now why the pirates had attacked her village, why they had been so desperate to find this place. In the wrong hands, the Heart of Worlds could tip the balance of power in the galaxy. "We can't let them have it," he said firmly. "We won't," Zara replied, her hand finding his. "But Marcus, there's something else you need to know. According to the old laws, only someone bonded to the royal bloodline can safely approach the heart. If the pirates do find this place, they'll need you alive," Marcus finished, his blood running cold. Zara nodded. "But there is another way. The bonding ceremony can be performed between any two souls who truly love each other. It would make you my partner in all things, including the guardianship of the heart." Marcus felt his world shift. She was offering him not just her love, but a destiny beyond anything he had ever imagined. To be bonded to an alien princess, to become guardian of one of the universe's greatest powers. "Zara," he whispered, her name like a prayer on his lips. "I know it seems impossible," she said, stepping even closer until they were almost touching. "A human and a Villani, two different species, two different worlds. But I feel something with you that I have never felt before, something my grandmother's stories said I would know when I found it." The Heart of Worlds pulsed brighter, its light washing over them both as Marcus cupped Zara's face in his hands. The storm that raged outside the temple was unlike anything Marcus had ever witnessed on Earth. Lightning that seemed to be made of liquid crystal crashed between the towering spires, or winds howled with voices that sounded almost musical. But inside the sanctuary, he and Zara were protected by walls that had weathered countless such storms over the millennia. They sat together on the steps leading to the Heart of Worlds, sharing the last of his emergency rations, while the temple's ambient glow provided warmth against the storm's chill. The energy sphere above them pulsed in rhythm with the lightning outside, as if drawing power from the elemental fury. "Tell me about the bonding ceremony," Marcus said softly, his fingers intertwined with Zara's smaller ones. Her skin was warm and surprisingly soft, with a texture that reminded him of silk. Zara's violet eyes reflected the temple's shifting lights as she considered his question. "It is not just a joining of hearts," she explained, her voice taking on the formal cadence she used when speaking of sacred things. "It is a true melding of souls, a connection that transcends death itself. Once bonded, we would share thoughts, emotions, even dreams." "Is it permanent?" Marcus asked, though he found the prospect more thrilling than frightening. "Eternal," Zara replied, then added more softly, "but it must be entered willingly by both parties, with complete honesty and trust. The heart itself judges the purity of our intentions." Marcus looked up at the energy sphere, which seemed to pulse more brightly whenever they spoke of the bonding. "What would it mean for you politically? A princess bonded to a human?" Zara smiled, the expression transforming her already beautiful features into something radiant. "My people believe that love chooses its own path. If the heart accepts our bonding, no Villani would dare question it. You would become not just my mate, but a bridge between our species." The idea was overwhelming in its implications. Marcus had come to this world as a xenobiologist studying alien ecosystems. Now he was being offered the chance to become part of an alien royal family, to help guide the destiny of an entire civilization. "What about children?" he asked, the practical side of his scientific mind asserting itself. "Is it even possible between our species?" Zara's cheeks took on a deeper shade of lavender, the Villani equivalent of blushing. "The bonding ceremony creates changes in both partners," she explained. "Our life forces become compatible in ways that transcend mere biology. Children born of such unions are said to be blessed with gifts from both worlds." Thunder crashed overhead, and Zara moved closer to Marcus, seeking comfort in his warmth. He wrapped his arms around her, marveling at how perfectly she seemed to fit against him despite their different species. "I'm frightened," she admitted, her voice muffled against his shoulder. "Not of the bonding, but of what comes after. The pirates will never stop hunting us. My people will expect me to lead them in war, and you will be caught between two worlds, never fully belonging to either." Marcus tilted her chin up so he could look into her eyes. I lost my home when my ship crashed, he said gently. I lost my future when Alina died. But with you, I have found something I never expected to find again. Hope. He leaned down and kissed her then, their first kiss bridging the gap between species with an intimacy that transcended mere physical attraction. Her lips were softer than human lips, with a subtle sweetness that reminded him of the crystalline fruits they had shared. When they parted, both were breathing heavily, and the heart of worlds blazed like a captured star above them. The ceremony, Zara whispered against his lips.
I can't.
Are you certain? I've never been more certain of anything in my life, Marcus replied. Meant it. Zara stood and moved to an alcove in the temple wall, withdrawing 2 circlets made of the same living crystal as the temple itself. They pulsed with their own internal light responding to her touch. These are the bonds of eternity, she explained, handing one to Marcus. When placed upon our heads during the ceremony, they will connect us to the heart and to each other. The circlet was lighter than it looked and warm to the touch. Marcus could feel a subtle vibration running through it, as if it contained its own miniature heartbeat. Zara positioned herself across from him, her circlet glowing brighter as she raised it toward her head. Speak from your heart, she instructed. Tell the heart why you choose this bond. Marcus lifted his own circlet, feeling the weight of the moment. I choose this bond because I love Zaraleth Moonweaver, not for her title or her power, but for her courage, her kindness, and her pure heart. I choose to stand beside her against any darkness, to protect her people as my own, and to build a future where love bridges the void between worlds. Zara's eyes filled with tears as she responded, I choose this bond because I love Marcus Kane, not for his species or his knowledge, but for his strength, his compassion, and his willingness to risk everything for others. I choose to share my destiny with him, to make his dreams my own, and to prove that love knows no boundaries. Together they placed the circlets upon their heads. Effect was immediate and overwhelming. Light exploded around them as the heart of worlds responded to their joining, bathing the entire temple in radiance that could probably be seen from orbit. Marcus felt Zara's consciousness merge with his own, her memories and emotions flowing into him like a river of starlight. He experienced her childhood in crystal palaces, felt her loneliness as a princess isolated by duty, shared her terror during the pirate attack. In return, he opened his own mind to her, letting her see his life on Earth, his loss of Alina, his years of solitary research. When the light faded, they were still themselves, but somehow more. Marcus could feel Zara's heartbeat as clearly as his own, could sense her thoughts and emotions like a warm presence in his mind. My bondmate Zara whispered, the word carrying weight beyond mere translation. My beloved, Marcus replied, pulling her into his arms as the storm began to clear outside. They had become something new together. Neither fully human nor fully Villani, but something that transcended both. And in the morning, they would face whatever challenges awaited them as one soul in 2 bodies. The dawn brought with it the ominous shadow of the pirate fleet, their black ships descending through Kepler 4 for 2B's atmosphere like harbingers of destruction. Marcus and Zara stood at the temple's highest spire, their newly forged bond allowing them to share strength and courage as they watched their enemies approach. 12 heavy cruisers, Marcus observed, his enhanced senses now capable of detecting details that would have been impossible before the bonding. They're not taking any chances. Through their connection, he felt Zara's mixture of fear and determination. The pirates had found them, just as they had both known they would. The energy signature of the Heart of Worlds was impossible to hide once activated by their bonding ceremony. My people are coming too, Zara said, pointing toward the horizon, where sleek, crystal-hulled ships emerged from hyperspace. The Royal Guard felt the hearts awakening across the stars. The Villani fleet was smaller, but more elegant, their ships looking like works of art compared to the pirates' brutal utilitarian designs. Marcus counted 8 vessels, beautiful but clearly outgunned by their enemies. Captain Vorak leads the pirates, Zara explained, her mental voice carrying images of a scarred, cybernetically enhanced human who had terrorized the outer systems for decades. He believes the heart will make him invincible, able to conquer entire star systems single-handedly. Marcus felt a cold anger building within him, shared and amplified by their bond. These monsters had destroyed Zara's village, murdered innocent people, and now sought to claim a power that could devastate the galaxy. "Yeah, if we have anything to say about it," he said grimly. The first exchange of fire lit up the sky as the two fleets engaged each other in the upper atmosphere. Energy beams and plasma torpedoes painted deadly aurora across the alien heavens while the temple shuddered under the sonic booms of passing ships. "They're trying to force a landing," Zara observed as several pirate shuttles broke away from the main battle, diving toward the jungle around the temple. "Vorak wants the heart badly enough to risk ground combat." Marcus activated his comlink, knowing the Villani ships would be monitoring all frequencies. "Villani fleet, this is Dr. Marcus Kane. I'm bonded to Princess Zaraleth, and we're defending the temple. What support can you provide?" The response came immediately, in accented but clear English. "Dr. Kane, this is Commander Thane of the Royal Guard. We're deploying our warriors now. Hold your position." Golden streaks descended from the Villani ships as drop pods carried elite warriors toward the temple grounds. Marcus had studied Villani. Military doctrine knew that each of their soldiers was worth 3 or 4 ordinary fighters, but they were still vastly outnumbered. The first pirates reached the temple's perimeter as the Villani warriors were still landing. These were hardened mercenaries and criminals, armed with military-grade weapons and armor. They had no respect for the sacred nature of the site, using plasma cutters to carve through ancient crystal formations that had stood for millennia. "Stay here," Marcus told Zara, drawing his plasma cutter. "Guard the heart. We fight together." She replied firmly, producing a weapon he had never seen before. It looked like crystalline blade that hummed with contained energy. "I am bonded to a warrior now, and that makes me a warrior too." Their shared courage flowed between them as they descended to meet the attackers. The first pirate to reach the inner sanctum barely had time to register their presence before Marcus's plasma bolt took him down. Zara moved with fluid grace, her crystal blade slicing through armor as if it were paper. More pirates poured in, but the temple itself seemed to fight alongside them. Ancient defensive systems awakened, crystal formations launching energy bolts at the invaders, while the walls themselves shifted to create barriers and choke points. Commander Thane and his warriors arrived just as the battle reached its peak, their golden armor gleaming as they fought with weapons that sang with harmonic frequencies. The temple grounds became a battlefield where the elegant combat styles of the Villani met the brutal efficiency of pirate warfare, but it was Vorak himself who posed the greatest threat. The pirate captain fought his way through the melee with cybernetic enhancements that made him faster and stronger than any normal human. His destination was clear, the heart of worlds. Marcus intercepted him at the entrance to the inner sanctum, their weapons clashing in a shower of sparks. Vorak was skilled and experienced, his cybernetic arms giving him inhuman strength. But Marcus fought with the desperate fury of a man protecting everything he loved. "You cannot stop me, scientist," Vorak snarled, his scarred face twisted with greed. "I will have the power to remake the galaxy in my image." "The only thing you'll get is death," Marcus replied, pressing his attack with renewed vigor. Behind him, he could feel Zara's presence at the heart of worlds, her consciousness merging with the ancient artifact. Through their bond, he sensed her plan and felt both pride and terror at her courage. Zara was communing with the heart itself, offering it her life force in exchange for the power to end this threat once and for all. The energy sphere responded, its light growing so bright that everyone in the temple had to shield their eyes. "Zara, no," Marcus called out, understanding the price she was willing to pay, but their bond worked both ways. Instead of taking only her life force, the heart drew from both of them, their combined essence creating something far more powerful than either could have achieved alone. Light exploded outward from the temple, washing over the battlefield in waves of pure creative energy. The pirates' weapons simply stopped working, their ships falling from the sky as their power systems overloaded. But the Villani technology, designed to work in harmony with natural forces, was enhanced rather than destroyed. Vorak screamed in rage as his cybernetic implants failed, leaving him just another broken human. Marcus's final blow sent the pirate captain crashing into the temple wall, where he lay still. When the light faded, the battle was over. The surviving pirates surrendered to the Villani warriors while their fleet drifted powerless in orbit. Marcus and Zara stood together at the heart of worlds, both changed by their sacrifice, but somehow stronger for it. "Is it over?" Zara asked. Exhaustion evident in her voice. "This part is," Marcus replied, holding her close. "But I think our real adventure is just beginning." Around them, the temple pulsed with renewed life, and in the distance, both human and Villani ships worked together to secure the system. Their love had indeed bridged to worlds, just as the heart had always intended. The galaxy would never be the same, and neither would they. But as Marcus looked into Zara's violet eyes, he knew that whatever challenges lay ahead, it would face them together, as one heart beating in two souls.